Welcome back to Philly Welcomes You, where we help train frontline staff on creating incredible customer experiences and educate residents on improving the quality of everyday life. Philadelphia is the 5th largest city in the country. People come to work, live, visit, and play in the city known across the nation as the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. We the People is our anthem that speaks to the passion of being who we really are. So, who are the people? Remember what you saw in that video at the end of our first class, Welcome to Philly Welcomes You? Well, our neighborhoods represent a mix of generations, cultures from around the world, and people who enjoy the freedom of being who they are in the city where it all began.
Nosotras las personas.
We the people.
เราประชาชน
We the people.
Ми народ Соединенных Штатов.
Nosotros la gente.
Ngomo Myanmar.
We the people.
In today's diversity and inclusion class, we will learn who we the people are, what people are visiting us, and what they expect and how to exceed those expectations. So, let's get started with two definitions. Diversity is the mosaic of people from a variety of backgrounds, cultures, abilities, or characteristics such as religious beliefs, socioeconomic background, geography, and education. Inclusion is about learning to live, work, and play together. It is the basis for respect, equal opportunity, and common ground for each and every one of us. Now, I know what's going through your mind right now. Is this really important in this day and age? How does it make a difference in our lives? What impact does this have on our day-to-day experiences and the perceptions and opinions of our guests and visitors? Well, America is changing, and with those changes brings new ideas and different ways of thinking and living. While change and growth are good, changes present challenges if we don't engage and relate to each other. It's those challenges that have the ability to influence our lives and change the way we do business. We want to meet the unique needs of the communities that make up Philadelphia and the expectations of visitors that stay in our hotels, meet in our convention centers, visit our ballparks, eat in our restaurants, and enjoy our attractions. We want Philadelphians to be those people. Philadelphia to be that destination that consistently delivers such incredibly positive experiences that people can't help but come back again and again. Okay, so what do you need to know? Who are we the people? According to the U.S. Census between 2000 and 2010, there was an 82.6% increase in the Hispanic Latino population, 58.8% increase in Asian American residents, 12.5% increase in Black and African American residents. Now this represents a nearly 20% change in minority residents from 2000 to 2010. Of Philadelphia's 1.5 million residents, 63% represent people from diverse racial and ethnic backgrounds. Spanish is the #1 language other than English spoken in homes across the U.S., in addition to 3 other major language groups such as Indo-European, Asian, and Pacific Island languages. Our disability community represents 15.7% of the nation's population. Pennsylvania is home to 3.3 million baby boomers. In Pennsylvania, there are over 22,000 couples identifying themselves as same-sex couples, with Philadelphia ranking #2 in the state with the most same-sex couples. The 5 most significant markets showing growth and opportunity in the service industry are women, Hispanics, African Americans, Asian Americans, and the LGBT consumer. LGBT stands for people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgendered. These markets represent billions of dollars in potential revenues for Philadelphia. Now, imagine the multitude of visitors from around the country, the world, that come to visit the birthplace of America throughout the year. It's a lot to expect everyone to fully understand how to respond to every person and every situation in the right way. But it's absolutely reasonable to expect that as a citizen of the United States and resident of Philadelphia, that we the people understand why and how to respond in the most respectful and dignified manner. Why? We have a moral obligation, and it's just good citizenship to treat each other with dignity and respect. Now, if you truly believe in equal opportunity and access, it's these laws that should guide the way we engage each other and every moment of our lives. Here are some very important but simple rules of engagement that can help. Never assume anything. Don't be afraid to ask. Ask if you have questions about a situation. Ask if you think someone needs help. Realize that there are many ways to achieve the same goal. Not everyone does the same thing in the same way we do. Oh, and get in the know. Recognize that knowledge is power. Get out of your comfort zone. Become more knowledgeable. Consider learning a new language, tasting a food from another country, exploring the various rhythms of the world through music. Acknowledge that we all have biases and know when to control them. And be the example. Lead with kindness and professionalism. Now let's walk through a few scenarios to see how this works. Now, what if you are a concierge in a hotel? You have guests from around the world interested in experiencing some of Philadelphia's great restaurants representing a variety of cuisines. Now, a guest with a Spanish accent asks you for dinner recommendations. Are you going to send them to the best Puerto Rican restaurant in Philadelphia? Well, what do you know? Philadelphia has many cultural and ethnic communities that boast food, music, and cultural points of interest. Many of the visitors to Philadelphia come for this reason, so be prepared to showcase those communities. 1, a Spanish accent doesn't mean someone can't speak English. There are a number of Americans who are bilingual. 2, don't assume they are looking for a restaurant that serves their type of food. And 3, be dynamic, showcase and offer our visitors opportunities that explore our rich cultural neighborhoods. What if you are a greeter in our convention center and you notice 2 women holding hands walking through the exhibit? They don't appear to be mother and daughter or sisters. You're not really sure. You notice 2 of your coworkers staring at them and whispering to each other, laughing on occasion. The 2 women notice this too, and they don't look too happy about it. They are walking in your direction. Now, what do you know? First and foremost, these are guests of the convention center, and they have come to the convention center expecting that great Philadelphia hospitality. You also know that, 1, if they are LGBT visitors, Philadelphia has a vibrant gay nightlife with historical moments etched into our nation's history. But again, you don't know this for sure. 2, don't assume you know what's about to happen, but anticipate anything could. 3, greet your guests with a smile. 4, listen to their questions and concerns and assure them that their comfort and well-being are most important. 5, find an appropriate time to address the actions of your coworkers, directly or through your supervisor, should their actions be the cause of the guest's concerns. As a hospitality provider, you can be the gateway to a great experience, or you can be the reason that a guest never wants to return to our wonderful city. Who do you want to be? At the end of this lesson, you can learn about all of the different communities and opportunities Philadelphia has to offer our diverse visitors. Now know that it's not always what you say that offends, but it's often what you do, those nonverbal messages. So be courteous, be prepared, be the example. What if you work for one of the most popular restaurants in Philadelphia? As you prepare to begin taking orders at your table, you notice a group of people sitting in your section, and they look like they are engaged in great conversation, but nobody is talking. They're all using hand gestures, sign language to communicate. Now, you don't want to stare, but you're thinking to yourself that you have never waited on anyone who can't speak or hear. You know that you're uncomfortable, and you want to ask for another table. What do? First, relax. With over 50 million Americans with various types of disabilities, this situation is not as uncommon as you think. Remember, people with disabilities are your family members, friends, neighbors, supervisors, co-workers, and visitors to our city. We are required to provide a reasonable accommodation to make sure our customers with disabilities have the same enjoyable experience as everyone else. And it's the right thing to do. This means accessible and usable spaces, equal and/or comparable services, and that we strive for inclusion. If you remember that people with disabilities are people first, it becomes much easier. You arrive at the table to learn that only some of your patrons have limited hearing and can speak, but choose to use sign language to communicate comfortably with each other. Your guests may not sound like you, but with a little patience and open communication, you find that you can understand what is being said because you are listening and asking questions when you don't quite understand. Number 1, greet your guests. Number 2, communicating with simple gestures like pointing and nodding may be useful. 3, listen to their questions and concerns and assure them that their comfort and well-being are most important. 4, guests that need more assistance will most often tell you their needs. Pay attention to how they communicate. Use familiar gestures, and before you know it, you have just been taught how to sign thank you. We must realize that we bear a great responsibility as Philadelphians, hospitality ambassadors, and U.S. citizens for how people around the country and the world view us and our city. We can make a great and lasting first impression. If we keep our rules of engagement in the back of our minds when we engage each other and our visitors, we can proudly call ourselves the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. To learn more about diversity and inclusion initiatives in the tourism and hospitality industry, check out any of the great resources listed here in a second. Now, take the short exam and move on to our next class at Philly Welcomes You. Thank you.
Congratulations! You are now one step closer to becoming a certified hospitality professional. This designation can be added to your resume, and the experience you'll gain will improve your customer service skills, build your confidence when interacting with the public, and increase your overall value as an employee.